We're talking with Anna Go from Garden International School in Kuala Lumpur, and it's a great pleasure to host you this afternoon, Anna. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here.
I love talking to people who come from culturally diverse backgrounds and particularly international schools. And something that I'm always curious about is what drives someone to work at an international school? What was your motivation?
I guess for me, it's slightly different because my husband's Malaysian. I met him at university in 1997. So then we got married in the UK, and then we decided to move to Malaysia. But generally, from the colleagues I work with, the main thing is obviously that experience of living in a different country and getting to know a diverse community where you're living. At Garden International School, I've been here for 18 years. So one of the reasons why I've stayed is the professional development that Garden offers. Like in an annual year, we get over 75 hours of CPD, which is a lot of development for a teacher. And then a lot of that time is dedicated personal learning time. So you can decide as a teacher what you want to develop, and then we've got autonomy to develop in a particular area.
I was going to ask you how they divide up those hours. So there's quite a substantial proportion where you are self directed in your professional learning.
Yes, that's correct. So we get on the Friday afternoon, we have 2 hours every Friday. Plus, we
Wow.
have like after school during the week. There's another hour session that we get. So it's roughly about 3 hours, definitely every week, and then extended days where we have PD as well.
Is that the sort of thing where you can just explore, well, I wouldn't say just, but where you explore things that are of interest to you, or is that where you're receiving information from a presentation, or both?
It's a mixture of both, but you choose. Like we can choose what area we want to focus. We've got a lot. We have teaching learning communities and professional learning communities. So you decide as a teacher what you want to sign up for. So anything you are taking part in is coming from your own interests. We have professional learning goals, and that the main focus is linking to teaching and learning. So our development is focusing on the children and the teaching in the classroom, but it's very personal to what each teacher wants to focus on and their journey that they're on as a teacher.
So you're quite a veteran, having been there for 18 years.
Yes.
you must see new teachers or younger teachers come through. Is it a big adjustment period for them?
To start off with, I think the biggest thing is because Garden School's really big, so we have over 2,000 students. And when you come as a new teacher, you may think you're experienced and confident in certain areas. But for example, we use a lot of technology, and sometimes new teachers find it hard when they come because they think they're an expert at using technology in the classroom. And then when they come, they find that they're not as an expert as they thought. So adjusting to what you thought were your strengths, maybe not a strength within like the international school environment. So adjusting to that.
Right. And I imagine the environment must be incredibly culturally diverse. The website states that you've got 65 nationalities represented,
Yeah.
and then the school teachers in English. So how does that all mesh together and work?
The Obviously we do follow the British curriculum, and the students' English ability is actually really strong. So I think the main challenge is if when children are joining and they're new to English, um, helping them to adjust to an environment where they're not understanding what's being spoken as confidently. That's probably the biggest challenge. But we have a multilingual department, and the teachers are trained to support children who are new to English. So it's that we're there to support them, and we've learned over the years that giving them that time to settle, so having like 6 weeks where you're just letting them to acclimatize to the class, and getting to know the teachers, and you find that the children do pick up more without you actually realizing.
Hmm. Do you find them to be quite resilient in that way? I mean, I would imagine, like as an adult, you'd think, "Oh my goodness, this is going to take me a while to get used to." But do the students just naturally pick that up better? Do you think?
No, I think they learn languages better than adults. And it's amazing through using like nonverbal cues. We have lots of pictures that are translated into specific languages depending on who's in the class. And the children, just because they're immersed in the language, they do just generally naturally pick up the language. We have world language lessons, so in that time, if a student is new to English, they will then have dedicated English lessons where we focus on like social English as well as learning the academics of English as well.
So, what are the key challenges there for creating a balanced class when you've got such variance in language skills and cultural awareness or cultural identities, I suppose?
I guess the key challenge is to make sure we've got each class is diverse. So nationality wise and obviously like learning wise. So we don't have all of the EAL children, for example, in one class. The children are split across all of the classes, and so we try and mix the nationalities as well. So that's the key.
So, you're a class creator school. How do you find
Yes.
class creator works to help to create those balanced classes? What are the tools that you can use within the software to make sure that you are achieving that diversity and that good mixture of students?
Yeah, no. So when we moved to Creator, it just opened up a new world of organizing, creating the new classes because you can input like the child's academic level, any behavior, kind of how they behave in the classroom. We added last year. We customized Class Creator and added the nationalities of the children. So that when Class Creator created the initial classes, you can then filter to check what each class looks like, and that's really helped to ensure like the baseline is correct, and then as teachers then being able to make adjustments as needed, um, and then class creators particularly. I think if something's wrong, the children stand up, they come as red, as if we've made a move that's not quite worked with what the teachers have inputted. And seeing that's definitely helped to make sure that the classrooms are as diverse and as balanced as possible.
That's a really interesting situation you have there because I'm guessing that most people would probably think first of things like behavior and academics, whereas
Mm.
you've primarily got a cultural or nationality conundrum to solve first. Do you find that by
Yes.
solving that actually then mitigates some of the issues that you might ordinarily have with behavior and academics?
No, I think so. So for us, it's important that we wouldn't, for example, want to have a class which just has Malaysian students, and so making sure that that they're culturally diverse um, helps with the children, so that they're interacting with in children from other countries, and that it gives them that confidence when they're learning English. Then obviously we get that bit right, and then we can make the tweaks if we find that you need more of an academic balance, then we maybe make a few tweaks that way.
Is there a key feature that you keep coming back to that you like?
Um, just select, as in, because you can select if you want to see like the EAL student, which classes have EAL students, and I love that you can just choose what you want to focus on, whether it's children are receiving learning support, and how Class Creator um, highlights those children in the classes, so you can see the classes through different lenses. I guess that's for us the best feature that so you can just make sure we've not missed anything, and that the classes are as best as we can make them.
Look, I'm really interested in your wider perspective, being an
Mm,
international school in such a highly populated area as well.
mm,
What do you see as being the biggest challenges for the students in the current climate? And I'm thinking about socioeconomic, geopolitical, technological, social media, and in a very very large school, a large student body. And given your 18 years of experience in dealing in that
mm.
international context, what do you see as the biggest challenges that face those students today?
I, th- um, Personally, I think the biggest challenge is when they make friends and then friends leave, because obviously because they're a lot of the children are here because of their mum or dad's work. So if they have to then relocate to a different country, so you have friendships that are formed, and then when a friend has to leave, then you can see like the that sense of loss from the children that are left, that are still remaining at Garden. So supporting them with understanding that children will come and go, and for them to know that their well-being is really important and that they are still safe, even if like a close friend has moved to a different country.
And I'm assuming then you would have really good support structures in place there. Do you have a team of like student services or student support people? I'm wondering whether there's increased psychological support through school councils and so forth.
Yeah, no, so we have a part of our inclusion team, so that includes the EA, so the multilingual learner teachers, learning support and counselling. So they work as an inclusion team, and to make sure that that all the children are feeling safe and that their needs are met. But we, even though the school is diverse, we look at it from the perspective that each child is unique, that diversity is a strength. So rather than looking at it as it's a barrier, it's a challenge, it's looking at what children bring into the classroom from where they're from, what country they were in before. We see that as a strength.
So, given your 18 years of experience in that environment, let's just
Mm.
say for a moment that you were going to go back to the UK and go back to a non-international school. What kind of
Mm.
insight do you think that you would bring back to that school community?
I think firstly, it would be that I've developed a deep understanding of diversity through being in Malaysia for so long, and understanding different cultures and different norms. Like, so how one country may say hello is very different to somewhere else. So just understanding diversities would be one key thing that I'd take back. And that support that we give to multilingual learners, that same support will apply to any children. So
Mm.
whether it's like translanguaging, the valuing like that home language, or through even through like the visuals, the models and scaffolds that we provide to support the children. Um, they're all things that you could use and apply back in the UK. And I guess the other key thing would be just not make just the way that you're communicating, just because in Malaysia you have to make sure you communicate clearly so that there's no misunderstanding.
Mm.
And so learning the way you communicate with children and parents, so that you're not assuming, helps you really to build that level of trust quite quickly. And so there'll be one of the key there are a few of the key areas that I would take back, if I did move back to England.
So, for someone using or considering using Class Creator in a situation similar to yours, what would you say to them?
I would say definitely go ahead and do it, because before we used strips of paper that we would cut out and then we were moving names around, and it took hours, and days. And even then, you were never sure. You always had to double check that you've not put the children have got at least one friend. So I think Class Creator saves so much time, and then teachers can then really focus on making those small tweaks to make sure that the classes are balanced, that they're accurate, and that each child will have developed friendships. So I would say definitely go ahead and do it, because the amount of time we save, through using Class Creator is it's outstanding.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a fantastic job in a diverse, highly populated, and culture rich environment. It's a really interesting story. And I thank you so much for your time. It's been great.
Thank you.